At heavyweights, Austin Harris for Oklahoma State and Tony Cassioppi, redshirt freshman with a record of 15-2, looking to get back on track tonight.
Well, because he's wrestled the #1 and #2 ranked guy consecutive weekends there, but Cassioppi having a fantastic freshman year. Heavy favored in this match right now. Jumping in on a single leg right away, coming right up into a bear hug right there. Harris concedes the points. Cassioppi jumping on that near wrist ride.
Cassioppi's a pinner. He's got 5 already this season. Out of Roscoe, Illinois. Wrestled at Hononegah High School, where he was a 2-time state champion. 2-time USA Triple Crown winner in 2017 and 2018.
A guy who can really grind guys in the top position and constantly working. Look how active his knees and feet are here when he's riding a guy on top. He's making sure the guy's carrying all of his weight. There's only like 5 to 10 pounds of his 260-pound frame on the mat at any time, and he's putting weight down on his opponent, making him carry his weight. Well coached. Whoever worked with this young man at the high school level knew what they were doing from the top position. He's wrestling like an old coach.
Stalemates. Cassioppi falling to Gable Steveson 7-5 last Saturday night here in Iowa City. Harris is from Roseburg, Oregon. 4-time placer, won himself a state title. Also a junior freestyle All-American, comes in 5-9.
Top man, you're on.
Last year was down at 197. Breakdown there from Cassioppi. Already riding time over a minute.
I don't know if you want to talk about any of this, Shane, but you take a look at the last. There's been 90 duels that have gone over 10,000 in NCAA history, and 31 of them have come in the last 7 seasons. So this is just this crowd right here. We think it's an average Iowa crowd. It's the 40th largest crowd in NCAA history.
When it becomes official, this will be the first time in NCAA wrestling history we've had 8 dual meets over 10K in one season. In 2017, we had 7. No doubt about it, the growth of college wrestling, dual meets especially, generates so much excitement amongst fan bases. And to steal a line from my partner, Jim Gibbons, why? They're cultural.
Yeah, it's tribal.
Tribal, that's the word, tribal.
Yeah, they're tribal. It's our tribe's better than your tribe. And so even at the days of lore, when they sit around the campfire afterwards, they talk about the guy who didn't get pinned, you know?
Sure, oh, exactly.
Where else does that happen?
You go off losing by 7 to a standing ovation. We've seen it before. You lose by 14 to a standing ovation. Here's double unders from Cassioppi. Drives him off the mat.
Yeah. Thanks to Jason Bryant for that timely information. Our friendly announcer at the NCAA wrestling tournament. Can't wait to see him next.
Wrestling Encyclopedia. He's the guy I'd have on my list for Call a Friend. Wrestling history and stats, I'll go with JB. He wouldn't disappoint, he never does.
Get your left hand out.
Final 10 seconds. Front headlock and a go behind from Cassioppi. Second takedown caps the first period, leading it 4-1. Outstanding wrestler presented by Cliff King Athletic. Pat Lugo.
We talked
Speaking
about
of double unders.
Yeah, talking about him working off the underhook. Well, he went with both underhooks right here. Look at this work he's doing. He moves his hand out of the way, gets the fall. Great way to end his senior campaign, and his father, Patricio, digging that action.
And Cassioppi just drops down the hips.
Yeah, he's, again, even the match with Mason Paris where he eventually got pinned, he was doing some pretty nice things in that match. I mean, there were some pretty decent scrambles in there. He hit a nice side roll off of the chicken wing that Paris was putting on him. His match with Gable Steveson was 7-5, so technically, that's within range there at the end of the match. But outstanding. He's beating the people, that he's supposed to beat.
Yeah, he's definitely, and I would say he leads that second tier. I mean, I think it's 1-2 up top, of course, but Cassioppi's right there leading that second tier, no question.
And that's going to be a great matchup. A lot of people are talking about the 1-2 matchup at heavyweight, Big Ten championships, but one of these guys is going to have to get through. We don't even know who's going to get the #1 seed, but one of them is going to have to get through Cassioppi to get there. And a lot of things can happen in tournament wrestling.
First time that we saw Cassioppi was against Trent Hilger of Wisconsin, and I was really impressed. That was early December. Beat Hilger 3-2, was able to ride him. See Tom Brands.
46. In the middle.
One thing we've seen from Iowa tonight, Jim, is these guys can ride you all night.
Yeah, and then that's been a point of emphasis with the program. Seems like that they're not letting up in that top position, and when they got it going, their guys are turning guys to their back, and they're getting 3 to 4 minutes worth of riding time and 3 to 4 takedowns. They do that, generally going to get a major, be close to it anyway.
Iowa looking for their first national title since 2010.
Nice job by Harris not going over.
Good news for Hawkeye fans. You'll be able to get a ticket at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Sunday, March 8th on BTN. It's the event you've been waiting for. Don't miss live coverage of the 2020 Big Ten Wrestling Championships from Rutgers. Only on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Kind of feel like getting on a plane after we leave here tonight and heading right to Piscataway. Why not?
Well, I'm sure the guys at Rutgers would welcome you into the room.
That is going to be a great environment. They get after it in New Jersey. They love their wrestling.
Yeah, there's only going to be 7,500 people, and there's not like Minnesota where you had 14,000 in Williams Arena. So going to be a little more intimate. But this is, when you go to that tournament, this is the time where you start to see all that leftover anxiety from some of the dual meets that happened earlier in the season. That's why the quarters are fun, and that's why that first round is fun. There's a lot of jawing going on, so to speak. We saw a little bit of that tonight, but it's nothing like this compared to what happens at the tournament.
Harris gets out of position. Cassioppi makes him pay with the reversal. Got the riding time locked up. He's up by 9.
Let's go, gentlemen. Improve out of this.
Cassioppi, big personality as well. Always a big smile on his face. Him and Max Mirren doing some damage on Good Mirren America. That's a great segment on Iowa social media. Good stuff.
Well, I told Mirren when I interviewed him last week, I said, you know, I was getting my gear on here with the earpieces and all that stuff. I looked over at him and says, you know, Max, this is you in 10 years, right?
He's got a fun personality. Of course, Miss Hiss the Snake. We saw that on one of the on-the-mat features.
Good solid win for Cassioppi, 10-1. Way to get back into the win column. Solid dual meet. You know, the Cowboys are going to take that 8.5-hour drive home, but they're going to have some guys that they can be, particularly that Sheets match, where they can build on that. They can see a guy who's kind of done some things the right way, got himself back on track, but this Hawkeye team has just done this to everybody all year.
11-1 major decision for Tony Cassioppi. And that will put a bow on this duel. Iowa flexing its muscles on Oklahoma State as they win it 34-6.